Doesn't it feel great to be alive on a Sunday evening or a Monday Eve on WrestleMania Sunday 42 as a WWE YouTube fan or what? Hey WWE YouTube Nation, hope all you guys enjoyed WrestleMania 42 and WrestleMania 42 Sunday, but I also hope you guys are having a great Sunday so far, guys. I hope you guys are ready for what is going to be a awesome WrestleMania Sunday post show, guys. We have so much that happened tonight on WrestleMania Sunday. We have new champions crown, and the one, the only, the unique Danhausen had his WrestleMania moment with our host John Cena, and we are going to get to that and so much more in this episode. So make sure that if you enjoyed the episode, you hit that thumbs up and that like. Make sure you subscribe down below if you have not done so already. And let's get into WrestleMania 42 Sunday highlights and recap. Well, guys, our first match of the night was none other than two Gigantics heading into WrestleMania 42 Sunday. We had the Beast, we had the Conqueror. He is the one who conquered the 1 in 21 and 1 at WrestleMania 30, and that is the Beast of the WWE, or we could call him the Conqueror of the WWE, Brock Lesnar. But for the very first time in 3 years, Brock Lesnar is stepping onto the stage of WrestleMania, and for the first time in possibly his entire career in the WWE, he is facing one man, one person that every single time has gotten to him. One man that is trying to be the next big thing. One man who is trying to be the next big superstar, to be the one to conquer the one and defeat the one. And that is the ruler of NXT, and he's trying to be the ruler of the WWE, none other than Oba, making his WrestleMania debut, Oba Femi. And I got to be very honest with you guys, like Michael Cole, like everybody said, this match would be the WrestleMania debut of Oba. So really, guys, in the past couple of weeks on Raw, we have seen the ruler basically get in the head of the Beast and the Conqueror, guys. And, you know, Big E kind of said it on the pre-show going into this match. If Oba wanted to continue his powerhouse and being possibly the next big thing, then he would have to beat the one who beat the 1 in 21 and 1 at WrestleMania 30, guys. And that would be Brock Lesnar. Now, like I said, it's the first time in 3 years that the Beast of the WWE is stepping up at WrestleMania. It was 3 years ago when Brock Lesnar took on a 7'2" Nigerian giant named Omos and ended up beating him on that night. Because I got to be very honest with you, all the hype on this matchup is none other than on Oba. And the only question was, would Oba be able, would he break under the big spotlight, or would he run right through the Beast Incarnate? And ladies and gentlemen, the match lasted not even 10 minutes. And surprisingly, 94% of the match, Oba was dominating. I mean, once that bell ring ding ding, it was all Oba. And even Brock Lesnar would be able to take Oba to Suplex City. But the one thing that I think shocked Paul Heyman and even Brock Lesnar is that Oba, he's the real deal. He's the real thing. And he showed up to conquer the Beast and be the ruler of the WWE. Although it would not be easy going through the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar, guys, it's unbelievable what we saw, guys, because it only took one powerbomb from Oba to Brock Lesnar, and you can count to 3, guys. Yes, guys, Oba Femi in his WrestleMania debut defeated and conquered the Beast, Brock Lesnar. But it is really what happened after the match. Yes, Oba, he may be the next big thing, and he may be the next real deal. But what happened after the match, guys, Brock sat up, he cried a little bit, he took his gloves off, and he took his boots off and left him in the ring. And generally, in the WWE, when that happens, it means calling a career. It's really not been official yet that Brock Lesnar has announced his retirement, but seeing the gloves off in the ring and the boots and leaving the ring like that and hugging Paul Heyman, that shows in the WWE it usually means retirement. The only one time I have seen that happen at WrestleMania where it didn't happen was when The Undertaker lost to Roman Reigns, and we thought that that would be the end of The Undertaker, and it turned out not to be. But usually with the sign we saw from the Beast Brock Lesnar, it very well might be the end of the line for the Beast Incarnate, guys. And like I said, it is not official yet. So why did I choose this octagon background? It is to pay honor and respect to Brock Lesnar, guys, because Brock Lesnar, when he left WWE his first time, he went into UFC and he conquered it and dominated it as well. So it's just out of respect. But yes, guys, the ruler, Oba Femi, would end up conquering the Beast. So now the question is, other than, is Brock Lesnar going to retire and call it a crown? Is Oba Femi now the ruler of the WWE? Because in his WrestleMania debut, he goes up, he dominates the match against Brock Lesnar, and he ends up victorious against Brock Lesnar. So, again, does that mean that Oba is the, well, obviously the future, but is he the next big thing? Or is he also the ruler of the WWE? Guys, let me know what you guys think about that down below in the comment section. Well, guys, our next match was the 6-man ladder match for the WWE Intercontinental Championship, the Men's Intercontinental Championship, guys. It was Penta competing in his second WrestleMania. Surprisingly, last year he was also competing for the Intercontinental Championship. And I got to be very honest with you guys, this match was at least one of the wild card matches you could say I was looking forward to. Number one, guys, Intercontinental title ladder matches at WrestleMania are so iconic and legendary. It kind of feels like when you don't have a 6-man ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania, then you're not truly going to make history. And so it was 0-0. Penta defending the Intercontinental Championship against 5 other opponents. One of those 5, a WWE Hall of Famer, the master of the 619, Rey Mysterio, also Dragon Lee. You know Penta and Rey Mysterio are very close with Dragon Lee. Then you got Rusev. Then you got J.D. McDonough. And then you got Javon Evans. Now, here's the thing about Javon Evans. If Javon Evans won and became the new Intercontinental Champion, he would be the youngest person in the history of the WWE to win a championship at WrestleMania, guys. And this match was nothing of disappointment. This match made it legendary. It made it awesome, guys. Literally all 6 men in this match made a WrestleMania performance. They showed why a Intercontinental Championship ladder match on the grandest stage of them all is what makes WrestleMania so crazy and great. I would say the performance by all 6 men tonight you would have not seen on any other night or on any PLE, guys. And there were 5 men that walked out of this match empty-handed. And despite those 5 men walking out empty-handed, you, without a doubt, have to give them their flowers, guys. They absolutely went out, put on a show, put on a WrestleMania performance, and there's really nothing like it. And I'm very proud of those 5 men, but I'm extremely proud of Zero Miedo Penta. Not only does he keep the Intercontinental Championship, but ladies and gentlemen, with his win tonight, Zero Miedo Penta gets his very first career WrestleMania victory. And I want to applaud Penta because last year he was competing in a 6-pack match for the Intercontinental Championship and he ended up losing that match. And 1 year later, he walks in as Intercontinental Champion, and in a 6-pack ladder match, he walks out still the Intercontinental Champion, guys. Again, all 6 men in this match definitely deserve a round of applause. They went out, they put on a show on the shows of the shows. They made the ladder match of the Intercontinental Championship legendary, guys. And really, like I said before, the other 5 men of Javon Evans, J.D. McDonough, Rey Mysterio, Dragon Lee, and Rusev, all 5 of those men, even though they leave empty-handed, they have absolutely nothing to be ashamed about, guys. Again, it was not a main event match, but it is definitely a match deep in the bloods of professional wrestling, yet alone at WrestleMania, guys. And I think the WWE Universe, whether they were at Allegiant Stadium or watching it all around the world, really enjoyed that match and loved it. So I would applaud all 6 men Of course, congratulations to Zero Neto Penta on retaining the IC title. I bet all 6 of those men are going to go to bed tonight, beaten, battered, broken, maybe even proud, getting to compete in one of the most legendary and iconic matches. I really gotta say, Javon Evans, Dragon Lee, those 2 men are definitely have a future. But if there's one guy in this match where his future is extremely bright, it is the Judgment Day's JD McDonagh, guys. That guy does not get enough credit, in my opinion. I know he's on the Judgment Day, and you may not like him, but that guy is putting his body, his soul, his life on the line. You can tell how much WWE means to JD McDonagh, and especially at WrestleMania, guys. I don't know. I mean, a couple months ago on Raw, that man made a dive out of the ring and went skull first off the announce table, and it put him out of action for months. That is how, at the level of JD McDonagh's competing is, guys. And whether you like him or not, he has a very, very bright future in the WWE. And I gotta give my flowers to him. But of course, the WWE Hall of Famer Rey Mysterio as well. For the age Rey Mysterio is at, he's competing like he's in the best shape of his life. And you got to tip your hat to the WWE Hall of Famer as well. Okay, WWE YouTube fans, I am going to do something that I don't want to do. But to make this episode a little bit shorter, I am going to skip the next match. The next match was Sami Zayn and Trick Williams for the United States Championship. But before I go on, congratulations to the new United States Champion, Trick Williams. Okay, guys, our next match, well, it's different. For the very first time in 3 years, the Demon, Finn Balor, returns to in-ring action. The last time we saw the Demon was 3 years ago at WrestleMania 39 against WWE Hall of Famer, the Rated R Superstar Edge, in a Hell in a Cell match. But what Finn Balor said is that Dirty Dominic Mysterio forced his hand. Finn Balor did say at one point, the demon side of me, that side was buried, died a long time ago. But, he kind of said that, Dominic Mysterio, again, has forced his hand in bringing that side back. Now, entering WrestleMania Sunday, it was just going to be the Demon Balor and Dirty Dom in a normal match. And then on the Countdown show, Monday Night Raw, GM Adam Pearce made it a street fight. So our next match would be a street fight. And it would be Dirty Dominic Mysterio taking on the Demon of Finn Balor. And I will be very honest with you guys. When Finn Balor, when the Demon, Finn Balor, made his entrance, you know where Dirty Dominic Mysterio was at? Hiding behind the announce desks. Right off the bat, it showed fear of Dirty Dominic Mysterio. And I got to be very honest with you. Number one, he has every right to be feared, because I would not want to be taking on the Demon Finn Balor at all. But I want to, before we go into the match and talk about the match, I wanted to get your guys' input and intake on that. So let me know what you guys thought of it down below in the comment section, guys. But, the one thing I saw when I was watching this match was the regular side of Finn Balor and the demon side of Finn Balor are two way different personalities. Entering tonight, the demon Finn Balor has only lost 2 times. One time to Roman Reigns, one time to WWE Hall of Famer, the Rated R Superstar Edge. And so my question is, number one, what did you think of the match? But I definitely saw a more sadistic, a more sinister, a more evil, a definitely creepy demon side of Finn Balor. And Finn Balor, or the demon Finn Balor, reminded us all WWE fans how evil and how sinister he can get when he has that alternate personality. And like I said, it is a alternate personality that he does not show very often. Again, it's been 3 years since Finn Balor actually has even shown that side. And like I said, throughout the past couple of weeks on Monday Night Raw, he has usually said the term that I have been forced to show that side of me. So I don't know if you guys agree with it or not, but last year at WrestleMania, Dirty Dominic Mysterio pinned Finn Balor to become the new Intercontinental Champion. And that was last year at WrestleMania, in the same building and in the same city. And 1 year later, Dirty Dominic Mysterio has a bigger problem. Not only is he facing the demon side of Finn Balor, it now became a street fight. So, Dirty Dominic Mysterio had his opportunities in the match to put away the demon. He even hit the demon with the 619 with the chair wrapped around the head of the demon, and the demon kicked out of that. And if guys, the demon side of Finn Balor, we all got reminded of how vicious the demon side of Finn Balor can be. Okay, and that is something you kind of got to acknowledge. Okay, this is this is not ballet. Finn Balor, guys, did a drop kick to the demon Finn Balor hit a drop kick on Dirty Dominic Mysterio with the chair wrapped around the head of Dominic Mysterio, and then did a coup de grace through the table, and the demon Finn Balor has slaughtered, yes, literally slaughtered Dirty Dominic Mysterio. So the win goes to the demon, but nobody was surprised about the demon winning that matchup. So, maybe Dirty Dominic Mysterio has learned his lesson. He can call himself the greatest of the luchadores all he wants. But at the end of the day, he is no match for the demon Finn Balor. Okay, our next matchup would be for the Women's Championship. It would be the Storm herself of Jade Cargill defending her women's title against the Eradicator, Rhea Ripley. Now, I kind of want to do a little deep dive into this match, okay? Rhea Ripley won the Women's Elimination Chamber match. That is how she got her right to face Jade Cargill at WrestleMania for the women's title. But I kind of said this on the pre-show. Jade Cargill, when she first became champion, there were 2 women in the SmackDown WWE locker room that stepped up to her. Those 2 women were Las Vegas's own Mi Chen and then B-Fab. But in recent months and weeks, Mi Chen and B-Fab have aligned themselves with Jade Cargill. And, I didn't really, going into the matchup tonight, I didn't really think that B-Fab or Michin would get involved. And I really should have kind of remembered that a little bit and said, oh yeah, Jade Cargill does have 2 women in her back pocket that will help her win. Just like we saw last night with Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez helping Liv Morgan become the new women's world champion. Anywho, guys, so that was my mistake earlier today on the pre-show. But long story short, guys, it turned out very, very well because number one, Jade Cargill and Rhea Ripley are 2 women in the WWE Women's Division that have every right to call themselves champion, okay? You look at the career resume of Rhea Ripley. You look at the career resume of Jade Cargill. They are similar in some ways, but in all reality, guys, they may be similar, but they're also different in a lot of ways, okay? Rhea Ripley is been in the WWE a long time. Before WWE, before Jade Cargill came to WWE, she was in other industries like AEW. Oops! Yes, I mentioned AEW, but Jade Cargill was there, okay? So, their paths are meant to cross, okay? Ever since Jade Cargill came to WWE, their paths have been meant to cross at some point. And long story short, guys, I cannot think of a better place to have this match than WrestleMania. So, I was really happy, guys. But I should have remembered that B-Fab and Michin were in the back pocket of Jade Cargill. And I should have known going into this match, I should have remembered and asked myself, what role are they going to play in this match? Because without a doubt, apparently Jade Cargill cannot get stuff done by herself. I mean, she always has to have B-Fab, Michin in her back pocket, which I know is crazy. But you know what? I gotta be honest, if you guys knew that Michin and B-Fab were going to get involved, then you also knew Io Sky would be there. And you know what? This match involved 3 women that were not involved in this match. B-Fab, Michin, and Io Sky. Once B-Fab and Michin intercept themselves into this match, Io Sky was there and she took out B-Fab and Michin. And that got Jade Cargill distracted. And, it nearly cost her title. But then when Jade Cargill was going to go for Jaded a second time, Rhea Ripley made an amazing counter. Awesome counter. I've watched a lot of Rhea Ripley's matches. I have not seen her make counters like she did before. And next thing you knew, guys, it was a 1, 2, 3. And Rhea Ripley is once again champion, guys. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not going to lie. Jade Cargill won the women's title all the way back in the beginning of November. And she's had a great title run. Okay, I mean, everybody that has stepped up to her has been set down. That is literally how talented Jade Cargill really is. But it also showed that she couldn't get the job done against Rhea Ripley without help from B-Fab and Michin, guys. And, I think Rhea Ripley, she didn't need Io Sky. Okay, Io Sky, we all know Io Sky only intervened because of Michin and B-Fab. And I think if Io did not do what she did, Jade Cargill would still be the women's champion today. So, but it was a great match. Nonetheless, guys, you got to give your credit to Jade Cargill too. Even though she took a shortcut, you got to tip your hat to Jade Cargill without a doubt in that. Okay, WWE fans, so now I want to talk about at least one of the newest men to WWE. However, we don't know if he's on the Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown roster. That's Danhausen, okay? So the one thing, okay, we've heard all week, nonstop from Danhausen is, he's undefeated at WrestleMania. Check. Apparently he's in the WWE Hall of Fame, according to Big E. Check. And most importantly, he wanted to meet the host of WrestleMania, John Cena. Well, check. Because, ladies and gentlemen, tonight on night 2 of WrestleMania 42 Sunday, Danhausen did have a moment of a lifetime, guys. And I got to be very honest with you. I want to talk about it. Number one, the awesome one, The Miz, was trying to have his own WrestleMania moment with him and Kilt Wilson. And the host, John Cena, went up to The Miz, shook his hand, and then said, "Who are you?" "John Cena, nice to meet you." And I gotta be very honest with you, that's when we heard the music, "You Are Cursed," and none other than Danhausen. Danhausen was making his way to the ring tonight on the Danhausen Mobile. It looked really, really good, guys. And I got to be very honest with you. It was probably one of the most memorable things in WrestleMania history that you're going to remember forever. I think everybody 10, 20, 50, 100 years from now are going to talk about Danhausen's WWE WrestleMania debut. I mean, there's no way they cannot talk about it. It was so hilarious, okay? Really all week long, Danhausen, he's had a busy week. I'll be very honest with you. I mean, he went for a ride in the blimp around Vegas. Okay, that was number one. He basically cursed scam robbers thanks to Becky Lynch. Okay, he did something that Becky Lynch wanted him to do. What else did he do? He was at WWE World. He was at WWE. Okay, so what I meant by Danhausen in the WWE Hall of Fame, yes, he has not been inducted, but according to Big E, Danhausen is in the WWE Hall of Fame. He did not curse anybody at the WWE Hall of Fame. And I got to be very honest with you guys. If there is one guy that is going to be a top star in a very unique way in the WWE, it's Danhausen. The guy's only had one official WWE match. It was against Kilt Wilson. He did win. But usually, if Danhausen doesn't get his way, then cursing them. And when Danhausen curses someone, oh boy, it's not good for them. But Danhausen met John Cena in the ring, shook his hand. He didn't curse John Cena. That is something I think I was a little worried, because after WrestleMania ended last night, I go on my Instagram and I see Danhausen outside the dressing room of John Cena, and it said, and I quote, "Haven't seen him yet. Where is he?" That's what Danhausen posted on X or Twitter and Instagram last night. And the very next night, next thing you know, he meets John Cena. He's a big fan of John Cena. So, John Cena is very lucky that he got to host WrestleMania, yet alone he got to meet one of the most unique WWE superstars. Probably you're going to remember of Danhausen, guys. If you guys have not seen Danhausen's YouTube channel, and I bet a lot of you have. Go check him out. He is a delight. Okay, and I don't use the word delight a lot on the channel, but Danhausen is a delight, and I'm glad that the Las Vegas Metro Police Department did not stop Danhausen when he was on his way in the Danhausen mobile on the way to the ring. But congratulations to Danhausen on having his WrestleMania moment. Forget Wilson and The Miz. It just always ends bad for them. But hey, at least Danhausen finally had his WrestleMania moment. And he's been annoying a lot of people in the back of the WWE lately. But I know it. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, last night, tonight, Danhausen had his own blimp at WrestleMania. And I'm very proud of that. Because on Friday, Danhausen wanted his own blimp, and hey, it only took a few days. So, but I love Danhausen, guys. You know, he's a pleasure. He's a delight. He puts a smile on my face every time I see him. My mom finds him creepy with the face paint. I understand that, you know, but he is a pure delight. So. All right, guys, last match of the night, and it was the main event for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. It was the OTC, the 2026 Men's Royal Rumble match winner, Roman Reigns, putting his career on the line. Yes, because earlier in the week, with an interview with Michael Cole, Roman Reigns did say, when Michael Cole asked him the question, if you lose at WrestleMania, what is next? And Roman Reigns bluntly answered it. If I do not beat CM Punk at WrestleMania, I leave the WWE, okay? So there you guys have it. The OTC, the Tribal Chief, not only trying to win the World Heavyweight Championship again and be back at the head of the table, but he's putting his career on the line. That is how bad he wants to be, Mr. CM Punk. All right? And ladies and gentlemen, before we go into the match any further, let me know down below in the comment section what you guys thought of CM Punk and Roman Reigns' entrances tonight at WrestleMania. But if you guys want to talk about a World Heavyweight title match in the main event, this would definitely be one to talk about. CM Punk and Roman Reigns went beyond their own limits. And I got to be very honest, we all knew this was going to be a can't miss, must see main event. Okay, we all knew that. But I don't want to make fun of CM Punk's age, but for CM Punk's age, oh my gosh, did he put on a performance, guys. I mean, guys, we saw him hit Roman with a Superman punch. We saw the OTC try to hit a GTS on CM Punk. We saw CM Punk go to the stands, grab a replica Ulafala, put it around his neck, and spear Roman Reigns. We saw Roman Reigns lock CM Punk in the guillotine. We saw CM Punk put Roman Reigns in the Anakin device. We saw this match go outside the ring and through the crowd. We saw Roman Reigns get put through an announce table. I mean, that is the chaos and the craziness we saw in this matchup in the main event, guys. And the crazy thing about it is Roman Reigns hit CM Punk with the steel steps in front of the referee, Rod Zapata, and that could have been a DQ, and CM Punk would have won and kept his title. But Rod Zapata, the referee for this matchup, let things go. He was a lot more lenient in into the rule book and for allowing what goes on. So, he knew how huge this main event was, and he knew how big it was for WrestleMania itself. So he let a lot of things go. You kind of saw a normal championship match look like a no-holds-barred street fight a little bit, okay? But first and foremost, guys, what a performance by Roman Reigns and CM Punk. Without a doubt, they deserve a lot of bowing down to. Those two men only have met one-on-one one other time, and that was years ago on Raw when Roman Reigns was in the Shield, and he ended up winning on that night. Because I think Roman Reigns hit 3 or 4 spears on CM Punk, and CM Punk still kicked out. CM Punk, number one, guys, was proved to the WWE Universe how much the World Heavyweight title means to him. Roman Reigns went out and showed how bad he wants to be back at the head of the table. I don't really know how to put it, you guys, in any other words than that. What a main event it was. I got to be very honest with you. If I could give the World Heavyweight title to only one of these men, I would say I couldn't give it to either of them, because they both showed how big a World Heavyweight Championship main event really is and how important it is in the WWE. So, I really can't decide, on what one I would give it to. I actually saw this main event and I thought about it, to last night's main event, and I thought that, this main event beat last night's main event, and it's not because of Pat McAfee, because it literally is two men who are kind of elderly in the age. Roman Reigns, CM Punk have been a part of WWE for over a decade, and they went out and they performed tonight in the main event on the grandest stage of them all, like they were in their 20s. Okay, so but at the end of the night, guys, the OTC, Roman Reigns is back at the head of the table, and he has walked out with the World Heavyweight Championship.